saque de concentración. No sé, Polo, ahí está. Un fuerte aplauso para la Academia Dance Academy. Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miguel Sanchez, and I'm part of the Board of Directors of the Mexican Civic Society of Illinois. And I welcome you to this special celebration, Día de los Muertos. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Miguel Ángel Sánchez. Soy parte de la mesa directiva de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana y les hago la más cordial de las bienvenidas a esta celebración especial del Día de los Muertos. Y les pido que por favor me acompañen a recibir al comisionado por el Distrito 16, el señor Frank Aguilar. Please welcome Commissioner for District 16, Frank Aguilar.
Gracias, Miguel. Me da mucho gusto estar aquí con ustedes. Es celebrar Día de los Muertos. Es un momento muy especial para todos los mexicanos, que recordar a nuestros seres queridos, sus familias, todos nos unimos para recordarlos. Le quiero pasar las condolencias y pésame a la gente que perdió seres queridos este año y el pasado. Que descansen en paz. Le quiero dar las gracias a la artista, nuestra artista Gloria Contreras, para darlos este bonito, el tercer año que lo hace. Un aplauso para el artista, por favor. El tercer año que lo ha dado esta exhibición, su ofrenda. Le quiero dar las gracias a Miguel Sánchez, director de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana, por ayudar a presentar este evento. Y gracias al presidente de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana de Illinois, Polo Valladolid, presidente de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana, por patrocinar a Gloria. Y hay que celebrar este evento. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here and celebrating the Day of the Dead. It's a very traditional Mexican tradition in remembering our loved ones who long passed. I would like to pass my condolences to those folks here who lost loved ones this year, and my condolences to you. I'd like to take the moment, if you want to express the name of your loved ones, you can say it out loud. I'll give you a few minutes to say it out. If you had a loved one, mention his name. Si quieren mencionar uno de sus seres queridos, digan su nombre. Es el momento de sus seres queridos hoy. So, any names, nombres de sus seres queridos? Who else? Michael? José Luis Contreras. ¿Quién más? Members of your family. Members of your family. Marilyn. Dario Sanchez. Luciolo and Dolores Aguilar. I'd like to thank Miguel Sanchez, the director of the Mexican Civic Society of Illinois, for organizing this event, and the president of the Mexican Civic Society, Polo Valladolid. And thank you very much for organizing this. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the person who really made this happen and all of her support, Madam President of the Cook County Board, Tony Preckwinkle.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Commissioner Aguilar and thank all of you for joining us in front of this beautiful Ofrenda to celebrate the Day of the Dead. I want to begin by acknowledging the elected officials and community leaders who are here with us today. First, the Deputy Mayor of Immigration for the City of Chicago, Beatriz Ponce de León. Our own Commissioner Frank Aguilar, Commissioner Alma Anaya, Commissioner Anthony Quezada, Commissioner John Daly. Polo Valladolid, who is president of the Mexican Civic Society, Miguel Sanchez, who's director of the Mexican Civic Society, Marin Sanchez, youth activist and leader from the Mexican community, and Gloria Contreras, who is the artist who brought us this beautiful work. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate this holiday. Every year, on November 1st and 2nd, the Day of the Dead is celebrated in many of our Hispanic and Latino communities. It's a celebration of the lives of our ancestors, honoring both those who've passed and the cycle of life. It's observed as a day to honor deceased family members and loved ones, welcoming them back through various customs, including making dedicated altars like this one, or ofrendas, to those who have passed. These ofrendas include the beautiful artwork you see behind us, and it's customary to place a photograph of people who have passed, lay special foods like pan dulce. Say it again? Dulce. Dulce. A little better, huh? Light candles and visit memorial sites of our loved ones. Today, in that spirit, we honor and remember Cook County residents who've passed on. In particular, I'd like to reflect on the recent passing of my dear friend Marilyn Katz. Marilyn had a remarkable journey that began as a writer, filmmaker, and political activist in the 60s and 70s. In 1983, she combined her talents and passions in the Harold Washington campaign, leaving an indelible mark on our city. Marilyn was not only a skilled strategist and communicator, but also a passionate advocate for public policy issues. She worked tirelessly to make our modes of transportation more efficient and environmentally sound, both in Springfield and in Cook County. So in the spirit of Marilyn and in celebration of the Day of the Dead, we honor and remember Cook County residents who've left us this past year. Joyce Chapman, Lawrence Massal, to name a few, may they all rest in peace. And may we invite them back into our lives again, if only briefly, and remember their contribution to the county we all call home. Now I'd like to invite Deputy Mayor Beatriz Ponce de León to the podium.
Muy buenas noches. Mi nombre es Beatriz Ponce de León. I am the Deputy Mayor for Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights for the City of Chicago. This is the first time that our city has this position and our office, and it is a privilege to serve in this role. My parents are from Michoacán, Mexico. They came here in 1967, and Michoacán is known as one of the most beautiful places to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. I want to echo President Preckwinkle's comments about the purpose of Dia de los Muertos, the history behind it. It is a day that we remember people in our lives that have passed. And just as President Preckwinkle thought about the county residents, I want to say that in our office, our work is to advocate and support immigrants, migrants, and refugees. And I'd like to take a moment to think about the many people that have tried to make it to the United States and haven't made it because they lost their lives either crossing the desert or crossing the Darien Gap, the jungle, to come here in search of a better life. So for family members, friends, and others that we might not know, but that didn't make it, we'll take this moment to think about them. I also want to say thank you to President Preckwinkle and the county team for sharing in this celebration with the city. I believe this is the first time in recent years that we have had a joint altar, and we were very intentional about putting it here in the center between the two sides of government because it represents the type of coalition and partnership that we have, city and county, and I'm proud to be a part of that. And finally, I just invite you all to take a look at our website to learn more about the Office of Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights, and to join us in the work that we have ahead of us. And Día de los Muertos últimamente es una celebración de la vida y es una celebración alegre. It's a joyful celebration of life, which is why we see these colors. And I think that we are lucky to be in a place where we can bring people together, remember our loved ones, remember those that have passed, and still, keep a focus on the thoughtful, joyful part of life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'd like to bring some of my colleagues here, say a few words. Cook County Commissioner Anthony Quezada of the 8th District.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Buenas noches. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. My name is Anthony Joel Quezada. I'm the Cook County Commissioner for the 8th District on the northwest side of Chicago. Today is a beautiful day. Today is a day of celebration. And I first want to thank my history, my heritage, my culture, our culture, for creating such a beautiful event for all of us to remember our ancestors. We would not be here today if it were not for our ancestors, for our loved ones who took care of us, who nurtured us, who guided us, who protected us, who loved us. Such a beautiful moment in our lives to be able to pause, because the day-to-day lives that we live can sometimes be so stressful and make us not remember where we come from or who took care of us. So to have a day and to have a time to stop and remember those who came before us is such a beautiful display of love between history and time. And I took the time to put a picture of my grandmother, Digna Perez, who is the mother of my mother from Costa Rica. Digna was the person who taught me how to be civically engaged. She taught me the values of participating in community. She also taught me the values of environmentalism and also being an anti-war activist. In Costa Rica, we don't have a standing army. We really prioritize our environment, and she instilled those values in me. She also made really good food. She made really good arroz con pollo y frijoles negros, and so I miss her. I miss her food. I think about her food every once in a while. I think about the music that she used to play. I used to think about the times we used to talk about history and politics. So I miss her, but on days like this, I get to celebrate her life, and I get to remember her. And I want to thank all of you also for being here and for inviting the spirits of your loved ones this evening. I feel their spirits, I feel their presence with us today, and I'm so thankful to be among them with you. And I hope one day to be on someone's ofrenda and remembered as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Quezada. I also want to acknowledge one person here, Teresa Fraga, the president of the Chicago Mexican Culture Committee. Thank you for being with us here. I'd like to introduce my other colleague from the 7th District, Commissioner Alma Anaya.
Hola, buenas noches, ya casi, ¿verdad? Me llamo Alma Anaya, soy comisionada del 7º Distrito. Hoy, como hemos platicado un poco, es un día que nos revuelve muchas emociones, ¿verdad? Estamos celebrando la vida de muchos de nuestros antepasados, pero también es un poco triste ver que no están con nosotros. Pero hoy quiero reflejar un poco sobre la importancia de esta celebración, este tipo de cultura que tenemos como mexicanos. Hablamos mucho sobre esta conexión que hoy día tocamos. Sabemos que nuestra cultura nos recalca eso, de tener una buena conexión con nuestros antepasados, de reflejar sobre el impacto que quizás ellos han tenido con nosotros. Y hoy día, como condado y la ciudad de Chicago, estamos celebrando esa conexión, porque esa conexión es lo que nos hace una persona, ¿verdad? Nuestros antepasados tienen una una influencia muy importante en nuestras vidas, en la vida de nuestros padres, cómo crecimos, el tipo de comida que comemos, el tipo de cultura que celebramos y muchas cosas. So, hoy día es bonito pensar en eso. También es muy bonito pensar que estamos unidos, como el condado de Cook tiene muchas responsabilidades, incluso el sistema de salud. Es bonito saber que hoy, aunque estemos celebrando este tipo de cultura, estemos también abogando para que nuestro sistema de salud tenga recursos, que podamos ayudar a toda la gente. Hoy estoy muy feliz de estar aquí con ustedes, estoy muy feliz de poder hacer esa conexión que les estoy hablando, esa conexión con nuestros antepasados, nuestra cultura que es tan bonita, y conectar eso con los diferentes impactos que podemos tener juntos como comunidad. Hemos visto tantas personas que hicieron este evento posible, y es lo que nos ha tenido como algo que nos ha mantenido muy fuertes durante la pandemia y hacia el futuro, ¿verdad? Muchísimas gracias por todos los patrocinadores que vinieron hoy día, para los artistas, mi colega Commissioner Aguilar, y todas las personas que hicieron este evento posible, porque nos tomamos un momento para hacer esa reflexión. So hi everyone, my name is Alma, Anaya, Cook County Commissioner of the 7th District. I'm so honored to be here because I think this holiday, as a proud Mexican, it brings a lot of emotions into a person, because it does provide some time to pause and to reflect on that connection that we have with our ancestors, with our family members, and those that have passed on. Because there will always be a piece of us. There will always be a piece of what made us, right? It determines the type of food that we eat, the type of culture we celebrate. It determines who we are as an individual. And it's quite beautiful to be able to do that today, because in our work and what we all do, and the reason why we're all here is because we work collaboratively. And this is an opportunity to be able to tap into that and be able to tap into that beautiful connection that we have with our ancestors and our culture to be able to utilize that. And I give a quick example. We have the health and hospital system, and the fact that as a county we have that collective goal to ensure that people are healthy and are safe, and we're using this as an opportunity also to make sure that we're advocating for things like that. So it's extremely beautiful to see this collaboration, to see this celebration. I thank, of course, the sponsors, the artists that has been able to bring this together, Madam President, and of course Commissioner Aguilar, and all of the other sponsors that were able to bring this together, because this is what true collaboration and true celebration. And it's beautiful because you see the different identities and how we're able to collectively celebrate that. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner. And from District 11, Cook County Commissioner and Chairman of the Finance Committee, John Daly.
Thank you very much, Frank. Good evening, President Preckwinkle, Commissioner Quezada, Commissioner Anaya, and friends, Deputy Mayor. And let me congratulate you on the excellent job you're doing among very difficult circumstances. It's an honor to join you this evening in welcoming this celebration. I put a card for my parents, but each and every one of us recall family members who are gone, what they contribute to us in our individual lives. On November 20th coming up, we also will be remembering people who have no one. And President Preckwinkle started this. This is a burial of the indigent. These are individuals who are unclaimed. We remember them tonight on this, and our individual, they will be buried on the 20th. And those are individuals who have, as I said, no one has claimed them, but we're productive members of this society. We thank them. To Frank, to Alma and Anthony, thank you, and President Preckwinkle. I know you're extremely happy that this door is finally open and the joint collaboration is continuing. Congratulations and thank you.
Now in Spanish, Commissioner.
Okay, now, please welcome The President of the Mexican Civic Society of Illinois, el señor Marco Polo Valladolid. Orgullosamente les presento al presidente de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana, el señor Marco Polo Valladolid, acompañado de la segunda princesa, Alondra Pastrana. El aplauso fuerte, por favor.
Good evening. I want to say a few words in Spanish. Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Marco Polo Valladolid, presidente de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana de Illinois. Estamos muy agradecidos por el tiempo y el esfuerzo que tomaron el estar aquí. Sabemos que su tiempo es muy valioso de todos ustedes y sin embargo dejaron lo que tenían que hacer por acompañarnos y eso es muy importante para nosotros. Muchas gracias. Entonces quiero seguir, disfrutar de esta exposición mexicana del Día de Muertos, compartir parte de nuestra cultura donde se celebran la vida, la muerte y alegría. Gracias a la presidenta del condado, Tony, por tenernos aquí, apoyar nuestra cultura mexicana y mostrar nuestra historia, pensamientos, experiencias de los seres queridos que ya se fueron. Gracias al mayor Brandon Johnson por el apoyo y ser parte de esta celebración. Gracias al comisionado Frank Aguilar por todo el esfuerzo que puso para estar aquí. El respeto a nuestras raíces culturales, y no dejando a nadie atrás. Gracias a todos los presentes por hacer juntos historia en este emblemático y importante lugar. Sigamos celebrando la vida y el reencuentro en este Día de los Muertos. Y hoy más que nunca estamos comprometidos con la comunidad para siempre haya un recinto para homenajear a todos y a cada uno de nuestros seres ya fallecidos. Gracias a todos, gracias Tere, Carmen por estar aquí acompañándonos y gracias a todos. Sigan celebrando. Cuídense.
Gracias.
Bueno, pues ahora me gustaría introducir a la representante de la juventud, la señorita Mayrin Sánchez. Please welcome the youth representative, Mayrin Sánchez.
Good evening, everyone, and I wanted to briefly speak on how the new generations can be highly impacted by the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a significant cultural celebration that holds immense importance for the new generations to learn about. This tradition, originating from Mexico, is a time to honor and remember deceased loved ones. By understanding the customs and beliefs associated with this holiday, the new generations can gain a deeper appreciation for their heritage and the importance of honoring those who have passed. Learning about the Day of the Dead allows individuals to embrace the rich cultural traditions and values that are passed down through generations, fostering a sense of identity and connection to their roots. Therefore, the Day of the Dead is a valuable tradition that new generations should continue to embrace and celebrate. As a girl who has grown up with a lot of relatives passing away, my parents have always made me celebrate and put up an ofrenda yearly. So I think that it is important for the new children, for new kids, and if you do have young kids, show them this, because they will always keep in memory their loved ones who have passed away, and they will feel a strong connection, and they will keep it ongoing to the new generations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mexican Civic Society.
There's a special guest that stopped by. He was in the neighborhood. Broadway actor, movie star, Hollywood movie star, award winner, screenwriter, director, producer, comedian, playwright. He started films with Sidney Poitier, George Clooney, most recently with Mario Lopez, Jim Carrey, and Jamie Foxx. He's written 5 books. He's on his 6th book. Ladies and gentlemen, actor, Broadway performer, Rick Najera. He's a little play that he wrote and he's producing.
Thank you. It's a real honor being here in Chicago. It's my second home. I wrote a film called Nothing Like the Holidays, took place in Humboldt Park, so I love this town. I'm here with my show, Sweet 15, which is a live experience. You can check it out at sweet15.com. But it's about forgiveness and love and family. And the way they found out, someone asked a great anthropologist and archaeologist, how did you discover humanity? What was the first sign that civilization existed? And she said, a femur bone, a leg bone. It had been healed. A leg bone had been found and it had healed. And that told you that someone took that person and brought them food, water, and all those things that have them live so they could heal. Not in the animal kingdom will you ever see that, but in the human kingdom, in our world. And that's what the whole art is. It's about compassion. It's about loving one another and caring for those that can't care for themselves and build our civilization. And what this offer is, this ofrenda is talking about the past. But this gives us time and reflection to look forward to the future. Thank you all so much for having me here.
And now, to talk about her work, the artist Gloria Contreras. Y ahora, para que nos hable de su obra, recibamos con un fuerte aplauso a la artista Gloria Contreras, por favor.
Hola, buenas noches. Me llamo Gloria Contreras. ¿Cómo están todos? ¿Frillito? Qué bueno. Bueno, yo nada más quería agradecer a todos por estar aquí. Yo sé que es un día muy frillito afuera y qué bueno que todos están aquí para poder celebrar este día tan bonito, tan importante para nosotros, los latinos especialmente. Me gustaría dar una especial gracias a la Madam President, Tony Preckwinkle, y el Commissioner Frank Aguilar, porque se me olvidaba, y Mario Castañeda, from State Farm. Entre estas 3 personas fueron las personas que nos trajeron aquí, nos siguieron el rollo porque nosotros queríamos hacer algo bonito y nadie nos hacía caso. Entonces ellos dijeron, ok, vente, vámonos a hacerlo, y me gustó toda su energía de ellos porque pues nos abrieron las puertas a este lugar tan bonito y tan especial. Y ahora que vamos a estar también junto con la oficina del mayor, es hasta más especial porque ya es toda la comunidad junta, ¿no? Sí. También una especial gracias a la Asociación Cívica Mexicana también para ayudarnos a hacer todo eso, porque esto se pone loco y todo el mundo corriendo, y qué bueno que nos ayudan a hacer todo esto. Muchísimas gracias. Nada más quería también decirle a mis hijos, aquí están conmigo, que muchas gracias por aceptarme mis locuras, que tengo todo esto en mi casa, y muchas gracias por no correrme de mi casa, porque ya están hartos, pero sí. Quería darle unas palabras a Mario, porque él es como quien dice, él siempre dice que es mi Jerry Maguire. Él es el que cuando yo ya estoy llorando, que ya no puedo, él viene y me ayuda y me echa porras, y no tengo con qué agradecerle todo lo que me ayuda. Es mi rock, es mi moral. Por favor, un aplauso para Mario.
I'll be very brief. Thank you, Madam President, for believing in us, Frank, Sociedad Cívica, and making some dream come true. It started many years ago. She almost gave up. I almost gave up. Talked to Frank, Madam President, and everything began from there. As a good neighbor, basically, thank you, President Brandon Johnson. Sorry, Mayor, sorry. Mayor Brandon Johnson, sorry. It's the cameras, they're getting me nervous. Everybody here behind us, everybody here, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. This all came true with the unity of La Comadre, Frank, Madam President, now Mayor Brandon Johnson, La Sociedad Cívica, and of course, I would not be here if it wasn't for State Farm too. As a good neighbor, we're here.
I have a present
They're bringing the present right now. Yeah. They-
It's one of my weird creatures, so he's always wanted one of mine, so here you go, and I hope you enjoy it.
I have an art gallery in my office, so this will be probably presented. Thank you, Gloria. You didn't have to, so.
Here you go, Frank.
Thank you very much. Before we say goodbye, I would like to thank our sponsors. Martinez Law Group, Micheladas El Patrón, the State Farm Office of Mario Castañeda, Celebration, Unlimited Fire Restoration, la Academia Dance Academy y Valladolid Banquet Hall. Muchísimas gracias a todas las personas que nos apoyaron para que este evento fuera posible y fuera de su agrado. Es el tercer año que lo estamos haciendo. Y a nombre de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana también queremos agradecer a la presidenta del condado de Cook, Tony Preckwinkle, a la oficina del mayor Brandon Johnson y al comisionado Frank Aguilar por confiar en la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana de Illinois para presentar este evento un año más. And once again, I want to thank you to the president of Cook County, Tony Preckwinkle, to the office mayor Brandon Johnson, and the commissioner Frank Aguilar for trusting the Mexican Civic Society of Illinois to present this event. Así, una vez más, muchísimas gracias a todos los que vinieron. Esto todavía no termina. Vamos a darle un fuerte aplauso a todas las personalidades que hoy nos acompañan aquí, por favor, y a todas las personas que hicieron lo posible por estar el día de hoy, y sobre todo a los amados seres queridos que ya no están con nosotros, pero que en presencia en nuestro corazón siguen aquí con nosotros. As a part of the celebration is a tradition of bringing music to the cemetery, so that's why our loved ones can enjoy it. And for that, today we have Grupo Nueva Imagen, pero antes de eso cerramos con nuestro ballet de la Academia. Fuerte el aplauso y nos vemos en el próximo 2024. Les van a estar regalando pan de muerto para que todos lo puedan disfrutar, cortesía de la Sociedad Cívica Mexicana de Illinois. Y eso continúa.